Ladies and gentlemen, my WR. Some of y'all are probably going, why aren't the knobbies on it still? We want the Motard wheels. We want those ones. They'll go back on soon. Just, yeah. I gotta go get some more Masterlink clips. It'll be on real soon. I don't know. I keep running the knobbies for another week or so, but I did something with my back. You'll see it in a video coming out soon. Anyway, sorry, ignore this. If somebody wants to come by and take all that to recycling, and they can have that. And someone wants to put this new smoker together I bought, or my father-in-law bought for me, you can come over and you can assemble this for me. I'd really appreciate it. But, what else is going on before we get to that? Ignore this. If you haven't seen this yet on the Facebook, this is a Nighthawk 250. It's not mine. It's a friend of mine's. It doesn't have any spark, and I'm pretty sure it's just a kill switch, but I've hardly messed with it, mainly because he's told me he's going to pay me by doing gunsmithing for me when I need it. I don't really need any gunsmithing, so I'm in no hurry to work on this bike. But anyway, I want to talk about the WR450. This isn't a Ford. Oh, God, what the fuck? I thought then. Let's talk about the WR450. So, I did some modification to it the other day I want to show you guys about. I try not to do too many of these things, these garage, backyard engineering kind of projects on this bike. I had a lot of that on the DRZ, and it's just not very clean when you do that. So I tried to stay clear of a lot of that, but I had to do something about something the other day, and let me explain what happened. I basically ended up with water in the crankcase. And it got in from the breather system from the airbox. I know you're probably thinking it was because of when I dropped it in the water, but it wasn't. Actually, it's because I washed it when I got home, and I washed it pretty lightly. I washed it with a hose, sort of going like this across it. I had a plastic bag over the air filter, but what I forgot to fucking do and think about on this bike was the breather system, and I didn't unplug the little plug in the bottom. And I guess I could get sort of spoiled. I was used to the DRZ 400 where you really could just hit it up with a power washer. Really, even with hacking a 3-inch by 3-inch hole in the top of the airbox, it's really hard to get water to driven up into the airbox. Where this has got direct holes that go straight back and then into the airbox. It's really easy for water to get into this thing. That's kind of the difference between having a race, more oriented trail bike versus a full-on trail bike that's, you're going to be some trade-offs. So, I did the dumb thing. Yeah, fuck, there was water about up to here in this damn thing. I don't know how that much water got into it. And it got down into the crankcase, and I had to change the oil about 4 times. You basically let the bike run till it about boils over, and you dump the oil on it, and let it just, you pull all the vents off of it, and just let it sort of, steam out for it. And then you do it. Take about 4 times, and I got all the water out of the oil. So it's a pain in the ass. And basically, what I ended up figuring out when I was looking at the system, what I wanted to change on it was the breather filter system thing. Basically goes down in the bottom underneath the filter here, and it's this hose back here is where the breather goes up to. That's where the breather to the engine goes. What I don't like about this kind of setup is, well, first of all, it just goes into the airbox. Some of them are kind of better when they go into the air boot, I think, but that's fine if they still go into just straight into the airbox. Plenty of bikes that do that. But I like the ones where if it does go in the airbox, it's one, up high. It's a little bit safer, a little bit smarter in my opinion. And 2, I like the ones that actually go through like the outer rim of the filter, so they still sort of do some sort of filtering. This is just a straight hole into the bottom of the airbox, and a lot of bikes do that. I just don't like that setup. Basically, if there's dust or crap or anything and it's getting sucked into the airbox, well, yeah, it won't make it past the filter, but there's still dust and crap running around in here, and you've got this pulsing going on, this hard pulsing from the breather. Especially these single cylinders have a heavy pulse, and it can pull dust and crap and whatever down into it. And water, in this case, it pulled a lot of water down into it, and so that's annoying to me. So I had 2 things I wanted to change. I wanted to change the placement of this, and I wanted to make it filtered. So I did that, and what I did, I've got it off right now because I washed this bike earlier. I pulled off. I had this temporary setup. I had one of these just going on both of them, just clamped over. But what I have, this is what's supposed to be on it, and I've ordered a second one of these. I'm just going to have 2 on there, and usually when you wash the bike, you rip the lower one off. And you throw a filter and stuff over it, like or I usually throw a bag over it because it kind of helps out. But I'm gonna show you what I did up here because I already have the bolts out. Here you go, car, hold that. See, normally the breather comes up, and this is part of it right here. It would kind of come up and then go back down into this. Well, I've now got it going uphill here, goes across underneath this plastic here, and comes up into this bad boy right here. And that's where the breather sits now. So by doing this, we've done a couple things. We made it it's a lot more uphill for the oil to have to travel, which is good when you're doing long wheelies and stuff like that. Some of you guys in the Austin meet saw what happened with some of those long wheelies and dumping oil out at lights and stuff. I had a little bit of extra oil in there though too. That was part of the problem. But we got it at a more uphill angle now. And secondly, we got it in the filter. This is one of the little AutoZone specials. It works, so it's better than nothing. Remember, it had no filter before, no filtration for the breather. We got it up high, and we got it tucked down under the seat here in a relatively, protected area from major, shit coming in there. And so that's what I did there. A little backyard engineering. It's not my favorite to do things like that. I'm going to try to do as least shit like that on this bike as possible. Like if this was the DRZ, like the battery would be like over here right now, and like this would be like this. Like nothing was normal on that bike because of how much weird backyard engineering it had done to it. This one I'm leaving pretty much alone as much as I can. So trying to keep it a little more clean, a little more professional. I was really poor when I had the DRZ. That's why it was like that. Well, for years when I first got it, that's when all the main stuff happened to it. But yeah, breather up here now, and that should keep it a little bit safer, less oil in there. Pretty easy to do, and I run that double little hose thing in the meantime until well, it should be in. It was supposed to be in over a week ago, but I'll have two little caps to put over that, two little clear screens so I can see, It's always good because you can see if there's junk in there, but you can't tell if there's water in them because water's clear, so you need to actually open it and look, but, oh, excuse me. Anyway, I just wanted to show that. Some backyard engineering on the old WR. All right. Yep, that's about it, I guess. All right. Later.